A long time ago on the east coast of Scotland, there lived a young village girl of poor or at least humble parentage, but she had a great and wondrous beauty. She was the pride and boast of her native place, and the object of the attention of all the local lads who were besotted with her. Many who saw her fell in love with her and asked for her hand in marriage, but as yet the coy maiden had refused them all. It happened, however, that 2 young Englishmen had come up for a visit to a powerful and wealthy noble who owned a castle in the area where the village stood, and one of the strangers was related to him. The young men hadn't been at the castle long when they heard of the beautiful girl, and anxious to ascertain whether the stories were true or not, they soon found an opportunity to see her and speak with her. Although they'd only gone to see her to satisfy their curiosity, no sooner did they behold her rare and unparalleled loveliness that they both fell deeply in love with her. The feeling to some degree was reciprocated, but her heart was captivated by one of the young men in particular. In a short time, the girl and the handsome English visitor began meeting secretly, telling no one of their trysts. Soon, however, the other young man began to suspect the truth, and at length discovered it. One night he followed his companion to where the lovers met, a deep and secluded glen, so he hid himself in a rocky hollow which had a canopy of heather and broom. He watched them and listened to their conversation. The girl agreed to go with her lover to England the following night, where they would be married as soon as possible. The onlooker was furious. When the lovers parted, he caught up with his companion, and an argument ensued. Swords were drawn, and the intended bridegroom fell to the ground, mortally wounded. His last word was the name of his betrothed. No sooner had the young man died than the murderer realised what he'd done and was remorseful. The enormity of the crime hit him, and tears rolled down his cheeks. After he finally regained his composure, he realised he had a body to deal with. He couldn't just leave his friend where he died, so with only his sword, he dug a grave and buried him. By this time the weather was changing, as dark clouds rolled in and a terrible storm began. As the thunder roared and the lightning flashed, he was sure he saw a ghost and was terrified. He found a hollow where he crouched, trembling. It was long past midnight when the storm abated. Then he hurried back to the castle, where he entered unobserved. The following day, the unusual absence of his friend was noted, but he pleaded ignorance, saying he didn't know what caused his delay. No suspicion was yet aroused. A search got under way for the murdered man, but it was to no avail. His mistress was inconsolable at his loss, and spared no exertion as to where he'd gone, but it had the same outcome. He was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, a rumour began among the locals that strange lights had been seen in the lonely glen. Watchers were sent to the glen at night, who soon saw a pale flame burning above a spot near the middle of the ravine, which glided away or disappeared if approached. In the area lived an old woman who was believed to be a witch, so she was told of the strange phenomenon, and explained that what they'd seen was one of the corpse candles. She said that beneath the place where it burned, some dead body must lie, hidden. She said the spot should be examined, and this being done, the body was discovered. When the murderer heard that the corpse of his friend had been found, he fled from the castle, and it said he drowned himself in the sea. The poor village girl, having heard of her lover's fate, was inconsolable, and it said that she pined away at the loss of her lover. When she died, she was interred with him. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.